Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to another video. Before we jump into this video, I do want to mention that I was inspired to make this video by both Spooky Astronauts and Possessed by Horror. If you haven't checked out either one of their channels, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, check them out. I'm going to leave links down in the description below. They are both fantastic content creators. So without further ado, let's get into my unpopular horror opinions. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy the video. So my first unpopular opinion, and I know that this is definitely going to be one that is not very popular with a lot of people, but I feel that Lords of Salem is Rob Zombie's best movie. Let me explain. I feel that this is Rob Zombie getting out of his comfort zone. He's not doing the whole trailer trash type of deal with these characters. They feel a bit more multi-layered, and I do feel that this is Sheri Moon Zombie's best performance. And having the all-female cast, I feel that this is actually his most disturbing film as well. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the storyline. If this is a film that you didn't enjoy the first time you watched it, give it another go. There's something about this film that really stands out from the rest of Zombie's other films, and I really want to see him make more movies like Lords of Salem. My next unpopular opinion is that Eli Roth is a fantastic director. There seems to be a lot of hate thrown towards Eli Roth's way, and I have to say that I've enjoyed every single one of his films. I absolutely love Cabin Fever. I think Hostel 1 and Hostel 2 are great, and I absolutely love The Green Inferno, and I'm really hoping that we actually get to see Thanksgiving. He really gets 70s horror cinema, and every one of his films is an homage to all of the films that were coming out in the 70s, from giallo to splatter films to exploitation films. The guy gets his horror. Each one of them has a specific type of flavor to it that only Eli Roth can bring. He brings the gore, he brings the blood, he brings the guts, but he also brings a lot of humor. And some people don't like his dark humor, and I get it, but I absolutely love the weird dark humor that he puts into all of his films. He's a director that I think is incredibly underrated, and I feel like he gets a lot more hate than is warranted. Now, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this next unpopular opinion. I don't get the love for Salem's Lot and Last House on the Left. I watched Salem's Lot relatively recently, probably about 2 months back, and I was bored to tears. There was nothing about it that scared me, no characters that I liked, no one that I gravitated towards. It was a little too cheesy for me. There was probably 1 or 2 parts that I thought was interesting out of the 3-hour runtime, but overall, I really don't understand the love for this film, and it just did nothing for me. With Last House on the Left, I was really hoping that I would love this film, and I feel like I should. I absolutely love I Spit on Your Grave. I think that film is fantastic. With Last House on the Left, the tone is all over the place, and I really do feel that it's one of Wes Craven's worst films. I hate the musical score. They play this music over these intense scenes of women being assaulted, and it doesn't fit in with the film. And the cutting back and forth between the assault and the parents back home, it doesn't work well. It feels very jarring and amateurish, and I get it. It's one of his earlier films. But compared to a film like I Spit on Your Grave, that is a lot more effective with the subject matter, Last House on the Left, I just don't really see what all of the hoopla is about that film, and the same goes for Salem's Lot. These next two films that I think are incredibly overrated are The Babysitter and Summer of '84. I loved Samara Weaving in Ready or Not. I thought she was great in that film, and I loved that movie. With The Babysitter, I feel like it's everything that's wrong with modern day horror. Really bad slow motion effects. It feels like it's just banking on the fact that everyone is like, yes, Samara Weaving is hot, and the comedy feels forced. All of the characters that are a part of this film, they feel one-dimensional and they don't really add anything, and I absolutely hate the direction of this film. McG isn't one of my favorite directors. I think that he's okay. And hearing all the love that was coming out for this film, how it was fun and gory and all of these things, and it was like this kid fighting back against these Satanists, I just didn't see it. I didn't find it interesting one bit, but there's really nothing there that I find interesting. With The Summer of '84, I feel that it relies way too much on nostalgia. I'm a kid of the 80s, I was born in '84, so I got to be around the late 80s, and trust me, I love 80s films, but this relied way too much on nostalgia. It's like, hey, remember this song from the 80s? You enjoyed this. Hey, remember all this from the 80s that you think is cool? Well, here it is. And when I hear people bring up that twist, and if you've seen the film, you'll know what that twist is, nothing about that really did anything for me. If anything, I was like, okay, and I watched the entire film for this murder mystery of who done it. I didn't get it, and I felt that a much better film that kind of dealt with a very similar type of storyline was The Clove Hitch Killer, which no one is talking about, and I think is far superior to The Summer of '84. While we're on the topic of films that no one is talking about or has seen, Dagon is Stuart Gordon's best film. I love Stuart Gordon's films. Reanimator and From Beyond are some of my favorites, but Dagon is at the top of my list when it comes to Stuart Gordon films. The reason being is because it really delves into the Lovecraftian storyline, and if you have ever played the Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 4, watch Dagon and then play Resident Evil 4. The game is a ripoff of that entire film, beat by beat, and Dagon came out quite a few years before Resident Evil 4 was released. It has dread right from the beginning. It has a character that you aren't necessarily behind in the beginning, but as we follow him on his journey and it just starts to delve even deeper and deeper into madness, it's one of those films you can't take your eyes off of. When I've shown this film to friends of mine, we don't talk the entire time. No one can say a word because it's a film that entrances you. It's a beautifully shot film. Yes, there is some dated CGI. If you enjoy Stuart Gordon films, if you like Lovecraftian stories, and if you want to check out a film that really no one's talking about and that is criminally underrated, check out Dagon. It's a fantastic movie. And for my last unpopular opinion, a Serbian film is a really well done film. If you've never seen a Serbian film, it's definitely not for everyone. But if you have seen it or you want to see it, yes, the subject matter is very hard to get through. It is a difficult film to watch. But that's some of the things that are great about true cinema, is that it challenges you and makes you look at the horrible things in life. And sometimes we need cinema like that. A Serbian film pushes the envelope consistently. And what's really well done about this film is everything on a technical level. The cinematography is gorgeous. The direction is amazing. The acting is really well done. These characters feel like real characters, and the stakes feel real. The storyline, the script, everything about it is incredibly tight. There is not any filler in this film. You feel the stakes getting higher and higher and higher for our main protagonist. And there's never a moment where you're able to catch a breath. And we're following the journey of Milos as he's going down this rabbit hole, trying to piece together what happened to him. and everything that's happening to him, he has no control over. It's not an easy film to get through, but from a technical aspect, from a writing aspect, it is so incredibly well done, and it's a film that will stick with you, just like Martyrs or Inside. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you want to help support the channel, consider becoming a patron over at my Patreon page. I have exclusive content over there, and we're going to be doing a Halloween live stream for my patrons only. As always, thank you so much for coming by and checking out another one of my videos, and I'll see you guys next time.